All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Good evening. Welcome to this Tuesday, October 17th, 2023 meeting of the Raymore Planning and Zoning Commission. If you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, looks like we're going to have a full boat tonight. We'll go ahead with roll call. Commissioner Bowie.
Present.
Commissioner Smith.
Present.
Commissioner Faulkner.
Present.
Vice Chair Fizer.
Present.
Commissioner Manser.
Present.
Secretary Peterman.
Present.
Commissioner Kia.
Present.
Mayor Turnbow.
Present.
And Chairman Wiggins is here. We have no personal appearances scheduled tonight, so we'll move on to item 5, consent agenda, approval of minutes from the September 5th, 2023 meeting. I would entertain a motion to dispose of this item, please.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir, Mr. Faulkner.
I move that we accept consent agenda.
I'll second.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Faulkner, second by Commissioner Kia to accept the consent agenda. Any discussion of the item? Seeing none, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All opposed? And abstentions?
Yeah, I wasn't here.
Okay, so do you want to abstain? Okay, so that'll be 702, so that will pass. Takes us to item 6, unfinished business, which there is none. Item 7 tonight is new business. We have 2 items. The first is case number 23040, Timber Trails, Dean Avenue, vacation of right-of-way. This item does require a public hearing, which I will open at this time at 6:02. And with that, I don't see an applicant, so I will turn it over to the city staff, please.
Thank you, sir. Tonight you have in front of you a request to vacate a portion of the city right-of-way. This area is located generally west of Dean Avenue and north of the future extension for Johnson Drive. The current existing zoning for the property is PUD, planned unit development, with the zoning that's surrounding the property to the north, R3AP, a multifamily residential plan district. To the south is PUD. To the east is R1P, single-family residential plan district, and to the west is I-49. The right-of-way size is actually very minuscule in size. It's 0.004 acres. The growth management plan identifies this area as appropriate for high-density residential, while the major street plan classifies Dean Avenue as a minor arterial and Johnson Drive as a minor collector. As this is a public hearing, this was posted on the September 20th, 2023 edition of the Northcast Herald, and I wanted to enter into the record the list of exhibits 1 through 6, being the mailed notices to adjoining property owners and notice of publication, the Unified Development Code, the application, the growth management plan, and the staff report. This area has a lot of history to it, none of which really came to fruition until very recent, dating all the way back to January of 2004 when the initial property for the preliminary plat was approved for Timber Trails. More recently, though, April 25th of 2022, the City Council approved a preliminary development plan for the Alara project, which, if you remember, is directly south of Johnson Drive. And then Timber Trails third plat, which was located southeast of the property, and you'll actually see homes being built there right now, was approved on September the 26th of 2022. And then on July 24th, 2023, this body here voted to approve the rezoning preliminary development plan of the Timber Trails mixed-use project. Wanted to highlight all of the comments for staff in this. Notices were sent out to 19 adjoining property owners. The subject right-of-way abuts undeveloped land, which is owned by the applicant, and then wanted to call out the section of the Unified Development Code that requires that no vacation of right-of-way can happen without 2/3 consent of all the property owners. However, it's only the city of Raymore as far as the right-of-way and the applicant that touch this property. So obviously the applicant is consenting to this. The subject property was initially part of a remnant tract of right-of-way when Dean Avenue was constructed, which was back in 2005. So it obviously took until now to do an ALTA survey, and through titling, this was found. So this is why this is before this body tonight. Staff does recommend to the Planning Commission to accept the staff proposed findings of fact in forward case 23040, Timber Trails vacation of right-of-way, to the City Council with a recommendation of approval. This concludes staff report.
Thank you, sir. Do any members of the commission have any questions for staff? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to dispose of this item, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I getting way ahead of myself here. This is a public hearing, so at this time, I would invite any members of the public to come forward if they would like to speak. I do not see any presently in the room, but if anybody's out in the hallway, I'll give you a second. Seeing none, I will go ahead and then close this case formally at 6:05. At this case, any questions, comments from members of the commission? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir, Mr. Manser.
I would like to make a motion that the Planning and Zoning Commission accept the staff proposed findings of fact in Ford case number 23040, Timber Trail, Dean Avenue, vacation of right-of-way to the City Council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Second.
Oh, I think Commissioner Smith got that one faster. I've got a motion by Commissioner Manser, second by Commissioner Smith, for the Planning and Zoning Commission to accept the staff proposed findings of fact in Ford case 23040, Timber Trail, Dean Avenue, vacation of right-of-way to the City Council with a recommendation of approval. Any discussion on the item?
I've got a quick question. So are we just in a sense, for clarity, in a sense just gifting this minute piece of land to the property owner that's going to be developing it?
That is correct. Public Works reviewed this application and determined that it was not necessary to be had. It was a very small remnant that just happened to cross over the property line just barely.
Perfect, thank you. Any final discussion? If not, all in favor? Seeing all hands raised, that will pass unanimously 9-0. Thank you. We'll move on to our second item, which is item B, case number 23038, Raymore Galleria, third plat, final plat. Again, I would turn it over to Mr. Eppert for the city staff.
Thank you, sir. Tonight you have in front of you, again, a requested action of final plat approval for the Raymore Galleria third plat. Property is located east of Dean Avenue and north of Johnston Drive. The current zoning for the property is R3B, Apartment Community Residential District, with the surrounding zonings to the north being C3 and C3P. To the south is R1P, to the east is R1, and to the west is R3AP and PUD. There's a lot of Ps in there, but total tract size of this is 20.67 acres. This will all be combined into one lot, one tract. The growth management plan identifies this area as appropriate for commercial development, while the major street plan identifies or classifies Dean Avenue as a minor arterial and Johnson Drive as a minor collector. Going into a little bit of the history for the project, back in 2005, this was originally zoned agricultural and rezoned to C3, as this was going to be a part of the Raymore Galleria overall for the big boxes that you now see to the north of this subject property. On August of 2021, City Council approved the rezoning of the property from C3 to R3B, which has now led us to this point. The site plan, which was originally Watermark, has now been dubbed or named the Depot. So if you drive by, you'll actually, they're working on the monument sign, so you should actually start seeing a little bit of the naming or branding coming to life. The City Council did approve again on July 24th the Timber Trails mixed use development, which was just west of the subject property, which we just discussed. A couple of items in the staff comments was as part of the approved site plan, a 13 stall parking lot was included, which would also include 2 ADA parking spaces, but this was essentially serving as a trailhead for the Parks Department. However, if you all remember, this is actually going to be under the maintenance of the developer / the applicant. However, you'll notice on the plat there's actually an ingress egress easement to be able to use for public use. And then also the internal roadways for the site are all considered private, and so therefore taken care of at the developer's expense. Pretty short, so staff recommends to the Planning and Zoning Commission to accept the staff proposed findings of fact in Ford case 23038 Raymore Galleria third plat, final plat to the City Council with a recommendation of approval. That'll conclude staff report.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from members of the commission? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion to dispose of this item, please.
Chairman,
Sir.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the staff proposed findings of fact in Ford case number 23038, the Raymore Galleria third plat, final plat, to the City Council with a recommendation of approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Urquia, second by Commissioner Manser for the Planning and Zoning Commission to accept the staff proposed finding in fact in Ford case number 23038, Raymore Galleria third plat, final plat to the City Council with a recommendation of approval. Any discussion of the item? Seeing none, all in favor? Seeing all raised, that will also pass unanimously, 9-0. Thank you very much. That will conclude our new business tonight. I will then turn it over to Mr. Zur for a city council report.
Thank you, Chairman. Since the last Planning and Zoning Commission meeting that you had, there have been a couple of city council meetings. However, only one of them will necessitate me reporting from based upon the actions that were taken. On the October 9th City Council meeting, 2 items were reviewed and approved by the City Council unanimously. The first was the 36th Amendment to the Unified Development Code. This came before you back on September 5th and had a unanimous approval of all the members present at that time. It made a number of minor changes with regard to marijuana facilities within the city, fence regulations for residential corner lots, and a review and approval process for utility easement vacations. That would receive its second and final vote for approval and will be incorporated in the UDC. The second item was also a second reading, and that was the East Brook at Creekmore fourth and final plat. This was Cooper Land Development with a 43-lot single-family residential subdivision north of 163rd Street. It's the 4th phase of the East Brook subdivision. Again, you all had the opportunity to review it at your September 5th, 2023 meeting, approved it unanimously by all the members present for a vote of 7-0, and it was approved unanimously again by the City Council by first read on September 25th, and again for second read at the October 9th meeting. Outside of that, you did have the adoption, the first reading for the proposed city budget. There was a public hearing on it at the City Council level that had been presented to you as part of the CIP by Mr. Fearborn at the last meeting. That would conclude my staff report. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have, and obviously I always invite the mayor to weigh in on any additional information that he thinks may be important for the commission.
I don't have anything additional. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'll turn it over to Mr. Everett for staff report.
Thank you, sir. Actually, a few items tonight. Wanted to talk about development within the community first, and that would be the tenant work has been completed at 214 West Walnut, which is now the Quilted Cow. So if you go down the S-curve on the north side, you'll actually see that building. They should be opening relatively soon. Building plans have been received for the redevelopment of the former Office Max. So that will actually be Sano's Orthopedics, which they're looking to have 3 tenants in there that are all medical uses. And then finally, the construction plans were received for HTO, which this group had approved just about a month or 2 ago. So they quickly turn around and turning in for building permits. As far as next meeting, we will have one on November the 7th. We'll be looking at Saddlebrook first plat, and then a CUP for the property located at 108 North Madison Street, which is actually formerly the Raymore Journal. So they are seeking approval to be able to keep their pole sign that exists out there. Finally, we'll be discussing the 2024 meeting deadline calendar as well as election of officers. So that will conclude staff report for tonight.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Salisbury?
I only have a couple things to add. The North Cass and Dean Signal is moving along, and they're hoping to be done by the end of the year. And then Johnson Drive is also going to be extended to the outer road, and they're hoping to be done by the end of the year. So,
Very good. Thank you. Any commissioners have any questions for either staff department?
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
So next meeting, we're going to be on November 7th, we're going to actually be choosing officers or discussing the choice of officers?
It'll be just how it's been in the last couple of years that I've been here. Obviously, if you're still interested in being an officer, you can definitely do that. And then obviously, if there's someone that is interested, then we go down that route. But I think historically, within the last 2 years that I've been here, it's been the same election or slate of officers.
Yes, you'll be electing officers.
Mr. Manson, did you have a question as well?
Yeah, I had a quick question. I saw a zoning notice signed by the old Raymore Journal office. Could you just expand on what's going on there?
Sure. So without getting too much into it, as obviously I don't want to have a predetermined, feeling on the case, essentially, obviously pole signs are not allowed within the city at this point. And so generally once a business is vacant or has no user in it within 90 days, that pole sign loses its status to be allowed. And so obviously there was a code enforcement case, and so the applicant is wanting to proceed with a conditional use permit as permitted by the Unified Development Code.
Great, thank you.
Any additional questions for anybody on staff? All right, very good, thank you. That will then take us to public comment, if there's anybody that would like to come forward. Seeing none, we will move on to commissioner member comments. We'll start immediately to my left at Vice Chair Pfizer, please.
Okay, I actually have a couple of things. First, the chairman of the Raymore Arts Commission has asked me to suggest that we have a planning and zoning Christmas tree, and the Christmas tree, I don't know what you call it, the parade of trees, maybe, I guess, at the mayor's Christmas tree. So I'm throwing it out there. He didn't think I'd bring it up, so I am. And second, 10 years ago this week, I joined the Planning and Zoning Commission. And I think Commissioner Faulkner was here. And I think
He's always been here.
I know, but yeah. So and I had attended this seminar with my daughter a couple weeks ago. It was kind of a women's empowerment sort of thing, and they were talking about how the population of the country is like 50% women, but only 11% serve on city commissions and things. And my daughter says, "That's you," and I'm like, "You're right, it is me." And so it was kind of a proud little moment there. So I encourage women to join commissions. It's been great. So every now and then I think, wow, 10 years, it's a long time. But I'm still excited about it, and I really like to see the things we've done. I think we've done a lot of good things. I've seen so much growth really recently, and it's been great. So I'm looking forward to another 10 years, maybe.
Thank you, and congratulations on 10 years. Commissioner Faulkner.
I'm not even going to try to come close to that. I'll say thank you to staff, and that's all for this evening.
Commissioner Smith.
Appreciate the staff, and it's good to see everybody. It's been, 6 weeks since we all got together, so.
Feels like it. If not, has it been that long? Oh, wow, okay. It's been a wild 6 weeks then for me, and I'll explain here later. Secretary Peterman, sir.
Nothing tonight.
Very good. Mr. Urquia.
So the math nerd in me, when you said 11%, was like 1 out of 9 is 11%. So
Exactly.
you're right on the average there as far as women go. Sorry, had to throw that out there. But thank you to staff. Appreciate everything you guys do. Always appreciate how you guys put the packets together for us and have answers to our questions. So thank you.
Commissioner Manser.
I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm excited for this Christmas tree. I want to know how I can contribute.
I'm game.
I know we've got to tiptoe around some sunshine laws, probably, in communicating about that.
I'm sure Mr. Zer would be able to fill us in on how many of us are able to participate on the tree at any given time without a public notice of meeting or...
Absolutely notice it up as a public meeting for individuals to attend. I'm sure they would appreciate that.
Great.
We will formalize it with Mr. Zer. Or we'll just add 15 minutes onto the end of each meeting.
I think we just do a public notice and we meet over at like Johnny's or something for our powwow on this.
The public can hear our brainstorming, how the sausage
Yes.
is made. You
And
know.
then plenty of public will be present, so.
I'm sure. Thank you to staff, and quick meeting. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I will just, instead of bouncing back and forth, I will go to Commissioner Bowie because I always like to leave
Yeah,
Mr. Mayor towards the end.
the mayor's always a hard act to follow. So thank you to staff. Appreciate the history that you guys provide on the packets that we have. That's an extra added touch that gives us a lot of information, so we appreciate the historical information you guys provide with each case. Commissioner Faulkner, I'm not sure how long you've been here. Commissioner Pfizer, 10 years, and I guess I'm the third senior person at 8 years. So I've been here a while as well. Of course, I felt like I was on the commission for about 5 or 6 years before that, because I used to bug, what was our guy that was here, that went to Indianapolis? Yeah, Jim. I used to bug him for many years before I even got on the Planning and Zoning Commission. So I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but with that, appreciate it, and I'll pass it on.
Mr. Mayor, sir.
Yeah, The only thing I have this evening is just a personal message of thank you to those who've reached out with their condolences from the loss of my daughter-in-law. It was a tough couple of weeks there, and as we're just now starting to recover from that. So the kind words and support that you all have sent has been much appreciated. So thank you for that. That's all I have, really.
Thank you, sir. Because of what Vice Chair Pfizer had shared, obviously anybody who is interested in commissions and boards associated with the city, we do have a volunteer form available through the city website. So that's how people can express their interest in these kind of things, and it helps the mayor know who's interested and who wants to serve. So that way, people that are wanting to participate and be involved, you can make your voice heard. Mr. Mayor, was there anything, I know last week there was a city council meeting. I know the city of Raymore does a fantastic job of keeping updated on things that are going on regarding the rumored landfill. It's not really rumored anymore, obviously, but the proposed landfill. I didn't know if you had anything to add. Otherwise, I was just going to say, obviously, raymore.com/killthefill. There's a great opportunity to sign up for text notifications, as I received some great communication from the city at the conclusion of that meeting, links to be able to watch that meeting. So I didn't know if you had anything to add there that people maybe didn't know. Obviously, it's kind of a little more of the same.
Yeah, no, not really. We did have an opportunity, Councilmember Townsend and I visited get to know the lobbyists that the Kill the Phil PAC has hired. Great firm, nice folks. I think they're going to do a wonderful job to represent killthephil.org. So our lobbyists are already partnering with them to bring them up to speed on all of our efforts. And we're looking forward to another tough fight down at Jefferson City. We'll be down there again, lobbying for the same thing. We've got some greater support this time. We've had meetings one-on-one with several of the local legislators who've continue to be even more supportive than they were last year. And so we're figuring on a successful year down there at Jefferson City, but then again, it's Jefferson City, so you never know. So we'll hopefully that people will stay engaged as they have been. The letters and emails of personal stories made a significant impact last year, and we're hoping that people will continue to do that as they move into the new session, the middle of January. So that's really all we have right now. The city of Raymore continues to try to work with the city of Kansas City for a regional and local solution. That hasn't yet occurred, but we continue to work on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always, like I said, raymore.com, a lot of great information there, and there is a text notification that you can sign up for to stay up to date. Coming up in just a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, is Halloween, so anybody that has kids or grandkids or neighbors, whatever, that are trick-or-treating, enjoy, be safe, have fun. I was curious, Mario, you mentioned, math, and you were going the 99% or whatever, and you were talking about 0.004 acres of a piece of land, and that made me look it up. That's 174.24 square feet of land, approximately 13 by 13. So, a small bedroom, or normal sized bedroom rather. So not a huge piece. I just was curious how much we were, talking over. And then the last thing I have to add, I was surprised that it has been 6 weeks. It's kind of crazy. My last week has been a little crazy. I don't think I've ever mentioned it to anybody on this commission, but 1 week ago today, I welcomed a new son to the world. So 10:10 at 8 a.m., a new baby boy was born. So life's been a little hectic in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, so with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I move that we adjourn this evening's meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Faulkner, second by Commissioner Urquia to adjourn. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All hands raised. 9-0, we are adjourned. Thank you.